This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and the latest news from Alpena Community College with Dr. Olin Joynton. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first two guests today are both from Thunder Bay Theater. I have Lisa Lull and Michael Idowski. Hi and welcome.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here. Michael, you're actually from Rogers City.
Yep.
And you and Lisa and a couple of other cast members all came from Central Michigan University, and you're here in Alpena for some of you for the summer and some for just a couple of shows, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So how did you all get to Alpena from Central Michigan University?
Well, I auditioned back in January at the Ohio Theater Alliance auditions, which is just a big group of regional theaters come together, and they're all auditioning. It's a very quick, you get your 1 minute in the spotlight to show what you can do. And then Thunder Bay Theater gave us callbacks, and they brought us here.
Yay!
So, my first time in Alpena.
And for me, I had worked with Heather Norton-Brock before in Rogers City in a few shows. And when she came on as artistic director at Thunder Bay, she gave me a call and said, "Hey, I'm doing Lucky Stiff again. Would you be interested in doing it?" And I was like, "Well, of course I'd be interested in doing it." And so she was like, "Okay, well, we've also got 2 more shows if you're interested in those." And so I picked up a contract for all 3 shows for the summer.
Yay! Getting paid for doing what you love to do.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yay. Now, you just finished a fundraiser. It was over this past weekend. And for people who didn't get a chance to come to the production, tell us what you did.
The fundraiser is called Secondary Characters, and it was, we all sang different songs from Broadway shows that weren't sung by the lead characters. So we got to do a lot of the really fun numbers. There's a chance to do a lot of those songs where you're like, oh, I really want to sing that someday, and we got to do those. So
We both actually sang songs from different genders.
Okay.
Mine is called The Diva's Lament, and I made it a little bit of an Alpena version. Because it's from Spamalot by Monty Python, and I figured instead of singing about a bunch of British knights, I would sing about thespians.
Ah, okay.
So it was a lot of fun.
Okay, if people didn't get a chance to donate, they can call the theater 354-2267 and still send in a donation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm sure they would love that.
Okay.
We would love that.
Today we want to talk about Smokey Joe's Cafe. That's the next production, and when will we be able to see that at Thunder Bay Theater? Either one of you?
Wednesday through Sunday, July 17th through July 28th.
Okay.
Wednesday through Saturday, shows are at 7:30, and on Sundays we have a matinee at 2 o'clock.
Okay. Tell me about your role, Lisa, and Smokey Joe's Cafe.
I'm Brenda. I'm pretty sassy and kind of sexy, which is different for me. I'm usually just the goofball, but so it's a lot of fun. It's a musical review, so the characters aren't very specific in the show, but we definitely still have our own through lines and our own idea of how our character would act and think about the songs that we're singing. So it's a lot of really fun music, though, and just a really good time. A lot of singing and a lot of dancing.
Okay, now what songs will you be singing yourself?
I am singing Don Juan and Some Cats Know, and then I'm doing a couple duets, Trouble, and You're the Boss.
Ooh,
so
okay.
all very fun and sassy.
Okay, what about your character, Michael?
My character is Adrian. I guess my storyline is that he's kind of the slower, more romantic one. And the songs that I get to sing are There Goes My Baby, Love Potion Number 9, Young Blood. I have a spot in Stand By Me. There's a lot of big group numbers.
Wow.
The guys have a lot of quartet things. We're singing On Broadway, which is one of my personal favorites.
Yeah.
So we got all of that going on.
So it's a family musical, and Alpena loves musicals. So call 354-2267, get the box office, and get your tickets so that you don't miss out on Smokey Joe's Cafe. All right, tell me who some of the other characters are and who's playing them.
We've got Dylan Goike is playing. I almost said Adrian, that's my part. Playing Victor. He's another one of the younger ones. His character is very intertwined with Nikki Hilton's character of BJ. They've got a lot of riffing and soloing and duetting together. It's a lot of fun to see those two interact. We also have Mackenzie Fountain, who plays Ken. Paul Doctor, who plays Fred, and Jacqueline Veer and Amy Gruen. That's not how you say her name. Gruen. Are both playing two other of the women parts of Dealey and you're Brenda, so Patty.
Okay.
It's hard because there's not a big storyline between or for everybody, so it's hard for me to remember some of the names sometimes.
Yeah, the names are actually based off of the people who played them in the original Broadway show.
Okay.
Yeah, so they didn't have different character names, so we have their actual names
okay.
as our character names.
So this was a Broadway show.
Yep.
Okay. Yes. And who was it written by? I'm going to give you.
Well, the music was all from Lieber and Stoller.
Okay.
So
okay.
it's all the big hits from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. It's very fun.
Okay, sounds like it.
Rock and roll.
And then you're going to be here just for this production, Lisa. Then you'll be going back home to Novi.
Troy.
Troy.
Nearby.
Troy.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, Troy. That's right. Get it right. So you'll be going back to Troy and then getting ready to go back to school in the fall.
Yes.
And then, Michael, you're staying on.
Yep, I'll be on for Rat Pack Lounge as well.
And you're going to do Rat Pack Lounge. Are you excited about that production?
Yes.
And it's not been cast yet, so you don't know which part you'll be playing.
I don't know what part I'll be playing. All I know is I'll be helping with music direction again.
Oh, yay, and that's your favorite thing to do.
Yeah, I really like doing that.
Okay, and I'm assuming that's your favorite role is a musical role, too?
Yeah, performing. I just love to perform, so anything. Musicals are just so much fun. I think
A lot of hard work, though.
a lot of hard work. We're really working on our dancing skills with this show. A lot of us don't have as large of a dance background as we do a vocal singing background and a theater background. So
It's lots of singing and dancing.
lots of singing and dancing, and we're getting pretty good. So you
Yay!
have to come see it.
Yeah.
All right, Smoky Joe's Cafe, once again, when can we come to see it?
July
17th?
17th. I was going to say 7th. That already happened. July 17th through the 28th.
Okay.
Wednesday through Saturday at 7:30. Sunday at 2 o'clock.
354-2267 to get your reservations. And wonderful meeting both of you, and I look forward to seeing you on stage. I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful experience.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. I'll be right back with some information about the upcoming Brown Trout Festival following these messages. Hi, my last guest today is Doug Neergarth, and when you think of brown trout and think of fishing, you think of Doug. Hi, Doug.
Hi, Nance.
So you're a volunteer for Brown Trout Festival, and everybody thinks it's 2 weeks of fishing every year, but it's way more than that. You've been working year-round.
Right. Year-round, and it takes a long time to plan all this stuff, from contacting sponsors, to put a plug in for all the volunteers.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody. I
Yes.
appreciate it. We need volunteers all the time, and, people get burnt out. And,
Yes, they do.
even if it's the littlest task, thanks to all of our volunteers.
And one thing we want to do today in particular is to thank Clem's Bait and Tackle for their years and years of support of the Michigan Brown Trout Festival.
They've
This
always
year
been
they can't do it
wonderful.
because of manpower and other reasons. So we can't register there this year. So where can we register?
Well, we have a new place to register, as well as the marina, which is in one of
Yes.
the old places. You can go south of town, in between here and Squaw Bay, is the Red Arrow
Yes.
store.
Oh, perfect.
And we've set up with them. They have some banners out there to, draw everybody's attention. And they are prepared and willing and able
Yeah,
to
they're
take
good.
registration.
Good community supporters.
Yes, thanks to them.
Yes.
I appreciate that. You can also mail in your registrations, and we appreciate that as well, because it reduces the lines that we're going to see, and then we will see lines right at the registration.
Okay. And what kind of fishing tournaments do we have? I know you have so many different tournaments. What kind do we
Right.
have this year?
Well, let's see. We have the regular brown trout, which is going to last all 9 days.
Okay.
We have, as well as that, and in addition to, we have a walleye tournament on the first weekend.
Okay.
Now, the Walleye Club, the Alpena Walleye Club, they've done a yeoman's job of, once again, volunteering. In particular, Carl Kelly, but they have raised over $6,000.
You can hold that up. Hold it right up to that camera right there for
Okay.
us. Okay, raised over $6,000.
They've raised over $6,000 from area businesses and whatnot.
Wow.
To add to the first place prize, in addition to all the prize money that from the fees that we have.
Okay.
We also have that $6,000 that's
Okay.
going to go towards first place prize.
All right.
So we have the walleye the walleye tournament. That's a 6th annual so
Okay.
far. We have a kids tournament, which is going the whole walleye. The kids is going the whole rest of the brown trout, and it'll last all 9 days. Just
And I
take
got to
your
put a
kids
plug
out.
in for the kids fishing for my Optimist Club too. It's held
Oh
on-
yeah, over at the
At the Plaza on
at the Plaza
Thursday.
Pool.
Yes, held on
Plaza
Thursday.
Pool. Can't say
Not the
that.
Plaza Pool, Plaza, Culligan Plaza.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got that right.
And yeah, and if those kids want to weigh their fish, just to get them in,
Oh, okay.
just to make them feel special, bring
You
it
can
on
bring 'em
down.
over.
Bring them on down, because I'll weigh them.
Okay.
We have the kids tournament. We have the ladies tournament is the next one up.
Okay.
That's the Jack Daniels Ladies Classic, started by Herb Lang so
Okay.
many years ago.
And that's a popular event. If you want to go down and see some fun and excitement when those boats come in, that's a day to go.
Yes.
It's really a fun event. Fun event.
Hey, well, if the seas are right,
Yes.
they have a grand time.
Yes,
if they
that's true.
don't, well,
It could be a little different.
they're a little ornery sometimes.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
who wouldn't be, I guess,
Yes.
right? And then lastly but not least is the Super Tournament. Pepsi Super Tournament sponsors many of the prizes in the Pepsi Super Tournament, and we're glad to have them on board.
Yes, and Jack Daniels too.
Yes,
Another huge sponsor.
for the Ladies Classic,
Yes. Okay, and then what about those tagged fish this year? All those wonderful tagged fish.
And I just pick those things up because,
yay.
you can't tag the fish too early. They're going to wander no matter what you do. It's not like we got them penned up out there, but we have to tag them, say, like a week, like
Okay.
right about now. We're going to
Okay.
start tagging these fish, and I have the tags out there and the guns and whatnot. I say guns, it's just like a pistol grip
Okay.
is all it is, just to insert the tags. But they're a little noodle tag. It's about the size of a piece of spaghetti.
Okay.
It sticks out the back of the dorsal fin.
Okay, so if you catch one, you'll know you have it.
Yes.
And so now, are there different prizes, different days, or how does that work?
No, it'll be, as of this point in time, we have 15 fish. We
Okay.
have 2 Lakers, we have 2 Browns, and we will tag all these things, and the rest of them will be walleye.
Okay.
So there's 11 walleye we're going to tag, and they'll probably hang around. We'll see.
If you could catch one of those and then win the big prize, wow, what a day that would be.
Right. El's Pool and Spa donated a big hot tub
Wow.
that you can win just by catching the right fish.
Ooh, perfect.
Okay, so we'll have a list of all those numbers, and if you bring it in, we'll match it to whatever prize you get.
Another one of those great sponsors of brown trout. They get out there and fish. They sponsor. They volunteer. They support. Another good group in our
Those guys
community.
go crazy with the fish.
They do.
And there's so many of them.
Yes, you always see their name on the board somewhere.
Yes, you do.
And then we want to go back to volunteers again, Doug. All the service clubs, all the groups that help, we couldn't do it without them. But I know that we still have a lot of spots available for volunteers.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to volunteer, is there a number, like a clearinghouse number or a brown trout number somebody could call?
Yeah, we call that Madam President.
Okay, that's Peggy.
Peggy Donikowski.
Okay,
And if I could
got
locate
her
her.
number here somewhere.
I'm sure I do. Looking. Here we go. She's going to love me
Okay.
reading this over there.
Okay,
Okay, Peggy's number is area code
Okay.
989-590-2480.
okay. And just leave a message and tell her, hey, I want to volunteer. There's so many opportunities. You can
Yes.
check boats, you can check coolers, you can weigh fish,
Yeah.
you can serve alcoholic beverages or non-alcoholic beverages. You can sell tickets. There's so many things to do.
Right. Check IDs. Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
check IDs.
You just get your feet wet.
Yeah, it's so much
and you'll
fun.
find it's not only fun, it's not hard.
No.
It's pleasurable. You make friends.
You do, and you get to see everybody. Everybody comes down there, so it's like a family reunion, kind of seeing all your friends in Alpena.
Yes.
All right, and what about that grand prize this year? What are we going to win for a grand prize with those brown trout raffle tickets?
Oh, it's we have a big quad. I'm afraid. Oh, there she be.
Okay.
Honda TRX 420
Ooh, sounds
ATV.
big. Woohoo!
All-terrain vehicle. But it's got some racks on the front and back. Can I show this to you?
Yeah, hold her up there.
I don't know. That's kind of small. We got bigger ones, but I didn't bring them with me.
Okay. So you just buy a ticket. I believe they're 3 for $10.
Correct.
3 for 10. So just get 3 people and split them or buy them and get the tickets, because that's what helps put this wonderful event on every year. That's one of the things that I always say in Alpena. It's the only time you have to wait through 2 lights to make a left-hand turn at Brown Trout. It's during Brown Trout Festival.
Yep.
Okay, we're out of time. I want to thank you very much for being such a wonderful volunteer.
Thanks for having me.
And I'll see you down at the harbor.
Okay, Nance.
Take care. Please stay tuned for Dr. Olin Joynton following these messages.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm Olin Joynton, president of Alpena Community College. My guest this morning is Luke Clyburn. Welcome back to the show, Luke.
Thank you.
Luke is president of the Noble Odyssey Foundation and also captain of the Pride of Michigan. That's docked next to the Marine Sanctuary during the summer. So, Luke, let's start out with the Noble Odyssey Foundation. What's that all about?
Olin, thanks so much. The Noble Odyssey Foundation is an organization that was put together for really developing a maritime interest with American youth, which includes Sea Cadets, which are in the high school age, to college students, which are at ACC. So our program is really taking these young people and trying to develop their interest in what I think is one of the greatest sources of fresh water in the world. And I think Alpena is probably one of the greatest places to work on the projects that we do.
Very good. Is your domain of activity Michigan? Does it encompass other states, the Great Lakes states as well?
We actually can operate all over the Great Lakes, and we've been in all of the Great Lakes. But we've worked in Traverse Bay, we've worked in the Straits, we've done a lot of work in the Straits of Mackinac, ancient river channels. But the partnership with the community college, the partnership with Thunder Bay Marine Sanctuary has really made a great opportunity to expand the work that we're doing. Where Thunder Bay and NOAA is working primarily on the shipwrecks, which covers a 250-year period of time. Our work goes back to right after the glaciers. We're looking at ancient shorelines of the Great Lakes. We're looking at water levels, which were both higher and lower than what we have presently.
Right.
And we try to get young people really interested and excited to carry on those studies.
There's a ridge out there in Lake Huron, isn't there, that where you can see tree stumps that are now submerged under a lot of water, but that used to be the dry land, didn't it?
7,000 years ago, you could walk from Alpena to Ambury, Ontario. This was the lower edge of Lake Huron.
Very good.
And it's what really makes the area so interesting is that there's so many unknowns about that period of time and what really took place. But I think people were living and taking part in activities right here in Alpena 7,000 years ago.
I've heard talk even of indications of hearths there in human habitation. So what a great thing to explore that. Now, if I'm a young person here in Alpena, I was interested in being a Sea Cadet. What steps would I take to join up with your program? What's the age range?
These are high school students, and they can go online and just look at U.S. Naval Sea Cadet Corps. There's a website that ties in nationally to find local units depending on where young people are coming from. Or they can get in touch with us at nobleodyssey.org, and that will give a lot of the history, a lot of the work that we're doing. But it's a great program for young people.
nobleodyssey.org. And I've been to the website. It's very interesting and informative, and what a great opportunity for a youngster to explore maritime career possibilities, the military aspect of it. I've met the Sea Cadets. They're an impressive group of boys and girls, and they're dressed up in their sailor suits. And thanks so much for bringing that great program to Michigan.
But we think also that the community college and the students that I've worked with from your school really add so much to what we're doing, because I see a very dedicated group of young people that have a genuine interest in what happens with the Great Lakes. And you're building that right here at the community college.
Right. We're talking about the Maritime Technology Program. And this is the second summer that you've helped us with the diving component of that program. So thank you very much.
We come in really diving for a purpose. So we start right off from the beginning and go right through the scientific diving.
Very good. And the diving operations take place with regard to your vessel, the Pride of Michigan. How did you come to be the captain of the Pride of Michigan?
Well, I volunteered many years ago in training Sea Cadets, and we wanted to get Sea Cadets off and out to sea, looking at the Great Lakes as being one of the greatest platforms or areas to train. You know, it made sense to get a vessel, and the Navy gave us a vessel to go out and train young people. And a lot of them go on into the Navy, but a lot of them get educated before they go to the Navy. So that's where the community college plays such a big part.
Yes, sir. And you told me recently about a change in the contract with the Navy that allows the Pride of Michigan to be used for all sorts of research endeavors, training, education. Perhaps maybe you could talk about your view for what possibilities lie ahead.
That is correct. We had a contract with the Navy where we could use the vessel for strictly training sea cadets. It was a public vessel. In the last year, the Navy, in order to avoid some of the contracts that they have, actually donated the boat to the Noble Odyssey Foundation. But that put us into a category with the Coast Guard as a vessel for hire. And we today are a certified Coast Guard inspected vessel for hire, and we can take college organizations out, we can do research on the Great Lakes. We probably have one of the most unique platforms because not only do we have housing for people, but we have the ability to feed, and we have the ability to pump air and dive around the clock. And that's a great benefit to research projects.
Maybe there's a member of the audience who might have some use for the vessel and could contact you about that possibility.
They could contact me through the nobleodyssey.org, or they could stop down at the vessel, and I would be more than happy to talk to them. Our vessel for years has been supported totally by donations. This gives us the opportunity to actually go out and go into a business model, and I think we'll see it expand, and I think we'll see it grow.
How interesting, before the taping of this program, you told me about going up to the Straits of Mackinac to inspect a couple of pipelines that run underwater and through which oil sands come from Canada to be processed in a refinery here in Michigan. You're going to inspect those pipes to make sure that they're not leaking, is that right?
Part of what our education young people is to make them aware that we really have to look after and protect the Great Lakes. I'm a firm believer that you need the water. It was by the water people came to Michigan. We need to use it, but we need to use it safely. There are two pipelines that are crossing the Straits of Mackinac. They've been there prior to the Mackinac Bridge being built. These pipelines are pumping a tremendous amount of oil. And at the age of the pipeline, we're really going down to see maybe everything is wonderful, maybe everything is fine.
Well, we need to wrap it up, but I just want to thank you both for your public service and also for being on the program today. And anyone out there in the audience who's interested in the Marine Technology Program, working with Captain/President Luke and the instructors in the program, just come on over to ACC and we'll tell you about it.
Thank you so much. It's good to be with you.
This has been Talk of the Town with Nancy Smitham and Dr. Olin Joynton. For a list of events taking place in Northeast Michigan, visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on Community. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.